We good?
We're live.
Back, Justin Rinas, back in the podcast, back from Africa. Justin's actually in the, you just got nominated for Teacher of the Year. He's a golf pro, and he's a hunting filmmaker. So Justin does all types of crazy filming in all over the world. And he's a golf coach, which when you're not teaching the slowest sport in the world, you're sleeping with zebras and filming them in the wildlife. And my friends think I'm hard to get a hold of. Dude, I don't even know what continent you're going to be in half the time.
Honestly, I literally, if I don't post on social media, people
No one
don't think
knows
I'm
where
at. No one knows where I'm alive. No one knows where I'm at. And, obviously I am, golf pro during the day. I drive through the night. I actually go through different things, to get different places, whether it's Kentucky, Tennessee, 14 hours on a plane ride to Africa, and really check that out. I mean,
He's producing right now. He's putting our podcast in like 8 different things.
Yeah, I'm actually producing.
We could be on porn right now.
Yeah, I know.
The golf pro thing. So you're nominated for
Teacher of the Year,
in Philadelphia?
So basically, I teach, so this is about 5 or 6 years into teaching in Philly area. I've been all around the country, 30 different addresses. I literally ran because the cops were chasing me. And honestly, I love golf. Just like you with clients, personal training. I care about my clients every day, whether it's, if someone texts me right now, I will probably get back to them about their golf swing or about what they did. So I really, really love doing that.
I think that is what makes us a little bit different, and the people that we surround ourselves with. Like, the fact that it is personal. I mean, you think about like personal training, it's supposed to be someone that you can connect with, that you can share, and that that can help you with whatever it is that your goal is, whether it's fat loss or general fitness or getting better at your sport or preventing injuries or anything along those lines. Like, it needs to be someone that you can connect with, and share the experience and the journey with. I mean, if you go to normal recreational gyms or just a recreational golf place like you're talking about, or to my gym, I don't think that's one of the biggest things that I think is missing. I mean, not many gyms or golf places are going to know like what you do for a living, or if you're hurt, or what you like to do, or things that you find fun and your common interests, or when your bad days are going to come. Like, I know like some of my clients, like Wednesday is going to be a pretty tough day for them, because I know like Wednesdays
who's going to have, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that those things, when you talk about like what we do, not only are we personal, but we get results. And I think results happen when you dig deep like that. You actually care.
Well, whether it's, when I travel and film and produce, whether it's golf, whether I have a client tomorrow at 6 a.m., it's about getting the job done, right? We need to make sure that player gets better. I get film, I hunt, I get that animal, I get food. There's a lot of things that happen whether I hunt or golf. It's a whole different deal. I'm at a private golf club, right? So it's a pretty nice, gorgeous club at Commonwealth. I teach every day. But there's also a thing where I go into Tennessee and I'm lucky to find people with teeth.
Completely the other end of the spectrum.
Completely in. And then Africa. Africa was crazy to travel from the States to Madrid, hit Johannesburg, 20-hour flight, hit Johannesburg.
20-hour flight.
20-hour flight.
What did you do on a plane for 20 hours?
Well,
I don't think I could do that.
I'm like this. I'm like crazy. I can't. It's funny. People watch me teach golf and everything. They're like, how do you sit? It's about that mindset to try to just get it done.
I'm still on the plane. I don't think I could sit in that plane for 20 hours.
It's hard. And I was traveling with my dad and my stepmom and watching them. If you ever travel with your parents, you got to do it once. I did it once. I'm good. I got it. Thanks.
But have they ever been like?
No. I told my dad, I'm like, listen, what's your bucket list? He's like, Africa. I'm like, all right, let's go.
That's your thing, man. You're just like, I don't know where the hell you're gonna be.
No.
You know what I mean? You're in Canada. You're in Africa. Yep. And a lot of people might look at that, right? And the perception on that might be that this guy's crazy, or and of course there's some things that you do that are outlandish, and who's the judge of that, and what's weird. Show me someone that's not weird. Or show me someone that isn't strange. And who made up weird?
Well, it's about passion, right? It's like passion. Like, what's your passion, right? That passion makes you a little crazy in people's mindset, right? Look at you, like crazy in gym, Spartan race, getting all your clients ready. That might intimidate people. And then all of a sudden, like for me with filming, I mean, literally I'll get done with this tonight. I got an episode getting ready for our new show, getting ready. We're going to hopefully pitch it to the networks next spring with a guy down in Kentucky, you know, and then all of a sudden I'm like, it's 2, 3 in the morning and I got to get up tomorrow at 6 to go teach again. And it's that crazy scale where people go, what are you doing?
Right.
You know, why do you do it? And that's where that passion and love, that you're not really doing that work. You know,
Sure.
It's not work when you love what you do, you know?
And I think that's one of the biggest elements to being successful in anything that you're trying to get results with. Whether it's in your field of work, whether you know you're trying to accomplish a task with schoolwork or a big project or in the gym. You have to find what it is that you enjoy doing, that wakes you up in the morning, that pushes you, that challenges you, and that you kind of get that thing where you're like, I'm going to go do it again.
Yep.
I'm a little tired right now, you know, maybe not in the best mindset right now. I'm finding this to be very difficult, but you know what? It keeps me alive. I think that it's fun. You know, I'm enjoying
Well, that
experience.
excitement level, I mean, I think that excitement level is huge.
Yeah.
I go to a gas station today, Wawa. Obviously, it's crazy in Philly. That person this morning, her name's Barbara. I see her most days. She's not really excited about her life. So I try to get, hey, Barbara, what'd you do last night? Like, anything fun? And then all of a sudden she gets like, hey, you know, I kind of did something. And that excitement gets people going.
Sure.
Whether it's, you know, kayaking or hiking or going to the gym. For me, it's out in the woods, you know, in the tree stand where all of a sudden I'm by myself and really kind of like with one, and I can kind of like escape from all that crazy mess from golf swings and, you know, social media, and then boom, you can really focus on something. It's pretty cool.
Explain to people exactly what it is that you're doing
Basically,
with filming and hunting.
so I started a brand and I started a thing because I basically wanted to do it myself.
Yeah.
I wanted to see if I can do it myself because everyone's got cameraman and production team and agents and whatever you want to call it, and I want to do it myself. It's a son of a gun to do. I don't want to swear on live, but it's hard. I mean, like to do film, to do hunt, to produce, and to get something done is tough. So I made a mindset of like doing crazy things, like that elk hunt on the ground, right? I got moose hunt next year in Alaska. I got Arizona at the end of December, where I'm basically going out solo style with my cameras, myself, and hopefully get something done. And if I can get that done, it's something like you can kind of like, I don't want to kind of puff your chest a little bit, but like have some fun with it and do it and like be like, hey, I did something cool.
What are you trying to get done?
So I'm basically getting ready to do like those TV guys that are on Discovery, Outdoor Channel, Sportsman.
Geographic.
I want to see if I can keep up with them.
Yeah.
And I want to see if I can do something cool.
Because you want to start your own show.
Yeah. I mean, I want to be out there. Different perspective. Like by yourself. Like, okay, do you have all the money to do something? No, I don't. I definitely don't. But I know I have the crazy amount of work ethic and the crazy amount of drive to do anything and everything.
And someone might ask, like, why go and do that? You know, why not just stay in your house? And in this case, we're talking about the wildlife, and we're talking about hiking. And I obviously am a huge advocate of hiking and the natural world and, you know, nature and things along those lines. But, you know, there's different, regardless of what it is that you get into, regardless of, you know, what you find fun, like, I think that there's certain human behaviors that we have to tap into, whether it's reading, whether it's traveling, whether it's hiking. You know, like where else, or just learning about different things and getting different perspectives. Because if you're always in one realm all the time,
it's not environments, right?
Yeah, if you're always in the same environment all the time, that's all you know, that's all you do.
Yeah, and like literally, I go to Tennessee. I mean, that environment to me, I mean, I'm in a private golf club life, and I go to Tennessee, and I'm like, I might get my butt whooped. Right. And then I go to Africa. Africa's even worse. I mean, that like literally, like you can get killed over there, like killed. Africa is like,
it's a whole nother world.
I'm telling you what, if there's one place people want to go in their lifetime, you got to go to Africa. You got to go. I mean, the animals, I mean, the giraffes, the zebras, the kudu, the Cape buffalo, you literally are like 30, 40 yards on the ground with them. You're not in the zoo.
Right? You made it sound like the Philadelphia Zoo on steroids.
Yeah, basically. I mean, and literally, like I had Cape buffalo under my tree where I'm like, those things can kill me.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's just like being in a situation with a grizzly bear or a bear, where, okay, you're going to get killed, right?
Yeah.
Africa is a different beast because people are literally living those days. If we, you know, take something down, they get to eat that day. right?
And there's almost a lack of appreciation here, and close to like almost like a disconnect in the sense of, you know, we go to our warm beds after this. It's raining outside right now. We'll get wet for a second, then we'll go in the car. We'll probably complain about getting wet.
Brand new Lexus or Mercedes or Shore House.
And those things come from something. And we're literally, you know, products of other living things. You know what I mean? And so when you don't kind of ground yourself, so to speak, and stay connected with that stuff, like you can lose the perspective.
Lose everything. And you go over there and you actually like unemployment rates 60%. And you're looking at people and you're like, how do they live?
Right.
And like they're making a couple dollars a day. And all they're worried about is making sure they live that day.
For sure.
And it's a whole different ballgame, dude.
Right. And like, what's a true problem? You know, what are you really complaining about? Is it something that is actually something that could give you harm?
Starbucks wrong that day?
Right.
And that's a big deal.
And how big are your problems that, you know, are arising, and are you making them? You know, like, do you truly know what a problem is?
Dude, I got a parking ticket the other day, and I was so mad because it was in Doylestown.
Yep.
$50.
$50, no problem. And I'm like, how is that possible that I got a stupid parking ticket in Doylestown?
Yep.
Right? And then I'm like, all right, never mind, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? But like, that's what happens. So then I go to Africa, and I'm like, this person's starving. Like, that person needs food. And like, we luckily, you know, took some animals down for that village and those people.
So it's like true hunting and
it's
gathering.
Like we took an animal down and they were excited and they couldn't wait to like celebrate.
And it's funny because like in that sense, like that's tribal at its finest. That's tribal at its realest sense. But in the same sense of when we go to a restaurant, we eat, and think about what we like to do, you know, here in America. We just like, you know, what are you doing tonight? All right, let's go get something to eat.
Yeah, or beer or something like that. Yeah, I mean, like, you literally, like, it's amazing how, you know, I talk to the Africa guys, you know, professional hunters. I said, what makes America different than Africa?
Yeah.
And they said, the emotion. We've basically built up our emotion from the Lion King.
Yeah.
Right? Pumbaa and Timon.
Right. It ain't real.
I mean, it ain't real.
The
it's just,
hyenas are laughing.
Yeah, right, I know. And there's a leopard out there that will kill me.
If you go into their world,
they'll kill you.
The animated creatures aren't there.
They're not nice. Like, hey, let me go. I'm gonna go hunt black bear in 2 weeks in Jersey. Hey, let me go pet one and see if he's gonna like me. No. They're gonna kill me.
Right.
I mean, you're on the ground with something that will actually kill you. So like, people's emotions change, like with lions and giraffes and zebras, and at the end of the day, those people use that as a commodity for villages, for, you know, other monetary, you know, realizations of, hey, we need to build a new well water for our village.
For sure.
We need to have someone come over to do that. And I think if we can do that more and teach people that giraffes, lions, zebras can actually showcase and help those people up over there, it's a huge thing, man.
So you're saying there's no Simba?
No, there's.
Is that what you're saying?
No, there's Simba.
But
there's a whole Lion King, there's whole everything. But it's
But
about
I think that it's
how you do it
important
right.
though that we discuss, like, you know, when people hear hunting, they think only trophy hunting.
Exactly.
And you're the farthest thing from a trophy hunter. In
Farthest
fact,
thing.
we're talking about your connection to the food and how, you know, when you do take down an animal, like, you actually have told me before, sometimes, like, you go into mental distraught and you take time.
I mean,
so why is it that we do hunt? Like,
well,
why?
I mean,
What?
a big.
By the way, this is not coffee. Everyone knows. If they follow me, they know what this drink is. And
Gatorade.
It's blue, and don't worry about it. No, but I mean, like, why I hunt? I mean, I hunt for food. I mean, tonight when I go home and I have venison, I'm going to be like, man, I'm thankful for that deer that gave me that food. I'm not going to go to a restaurant and get a burger and stuff. I'm going to make one that I harvested, you know, in the field.
For sure.
You know, and for instance, you know, you look at Jersey. I was just talking about it earlier. Those bears,
The Grizzlies.
Yeah. Well, no. Well, the Grizzlies are out west.
Right.
Well, we were talking about that Wyoming thing with Grizzlies, right? That Grizzly killed that guy and that hunter, and that hunter got hurt. And if people understood kind of like where that's going to go, and like the more and more things that are going to happen with those predators, you know, like those black bears in Jerseys, You know, that big thing right there is going to get bigger. You know, that black bear is going to go to that garbage can and get comfortable. What's going to happen to your daughter or your son that goes out to the bus stop and that black bear's around the corner, or your dog? You know, like those little things are really, really big that I don't think people understand the magnitude. Like, oh, that's a cute black bear. But like that black bear can kill your son or your daughter. And if we can do a better job of managing and really understanding of, okay, we have this amount of property or whatever, and those amount of animals, we have to manage it properly. Like wolves out west, we talk about it a lot with elk, you know, and grizzlies. I mean, those predators don't have predators. So who's going to do that? You know, we as humans and hunters have to do our part to make sure the conservation thing is huge. And I don't think it's gotten talking about enough is that when I go hunt, my out-of-state tag goes right to the state. You know, my $500 is going to go right to the state. If we have 1,000 hunters out of state, you know, times 500, do the math. That's that much money goes toward the state for, you know, wildlife and stuff like that. I think hunters get a bad name because we do the trophy hunting and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, we're all about conservation and making sure that we have it going forward.
And if you go to a restaurant and you eat hamburgers, you know, you're part of the hunting process.
Bro, what the heck is going on with this?
Animals, 30 all, 30
My
all.
God.
When I clear my throat.
High intensity. Throw it out. Man, we're not at the gym right now. We're BSing, talking about stuff. Love this guy.
I mean, and also like from animal, you know, protein.
Yeah.
In the sense of like, and how important
Bro, I mean,
it is
venison,
to our
like,
diets,
how good is venison for you? I mean,
Omega-3, omega-6s for our diets. You know,
good.
some of these things that we can't, that our body can't produce unless we eat the animal proteins. And from the high levels of proteins that you can get it in. I mean, a piece of chicken, 6-ounce piece of chicken is probably close to 24, 26, you know, grams of protein. So it's important for our diets. I mean, too often, too much, you know, could give you problems. But you know, we know that there's benefits from animal protein, and then everybody's different. So should everybody eat them? Maybe not. But you know.
But at the end of the day, when we put high output, like today, I started my day at 4 a.m.
So you're telling me that I don't need protein for the whole day?
Right.
I mean, you're crazy.
And
right?
animal protein would be one of the highest
highest deal. I mean, elk. You got. I mean, I'm going after bison shortly. New Zealand. You know what I mean? Like there's things that you need to have during your day to keep you going. I mean, like just like you. I mean, we're lifting heavy weights over our head. So you're telling me that like we don't need to have meat and have protein? Right. So I mean, that's where it's kind of like a tough thing. Like I love animals. I love animals. But I mean, at the end of the day, like I want to make sure. I mean, I'm a hunter.
Yeah.
I'm an alpha male. I'm a hunter. I take care of things. If you want to make sure, like I kill a deer down in Kentucky, I gave like 50, 60 pounds of meat away to people because they want it.
Right.
Yeah. So like,
especially in Africa. I mean, man. People. And then one of the biggest things that I think we need to continue to remind ourselves of is the reason we're at the top of the food chain is because we have the biggest brains. And because we have the biggest brains, we can shoot that bow and arrow the way that you shot it tonight,
what do you think,
or with guns that we
what do you think that deer is going to do?
We don't have the guns, and we don't have the bow and arrows, and we don't have the weapons.
Yeah.
It's a different ball game, man.
Those
just
animals
like you said
are
with
animals,
the bears that are, you know, hanging out in the backyard now. And
they
all that
can't
kind of
differentiate from a daughter or son to food. They just don't. You know what I mean? And that's where mountain lions are huge. You know, black bears, grizzlies, all that stuff is really important.
I had a huge epiphany. We went to the Philly Zoo.
Did
you see that picture where I took the selfie?
With gorilla.
And I called my uncle Louis. He actually kind of looked like me.
Yeah.
He
kind of looked like you.
He really did.
By the way, if I had to say something,
a little partial gorilla.
You are kind of getting bigger.
That's what I'm
You're
saying.
getting stronger.
We might be family, we might not. You know what I mean? But so, you know, that wasn't the first take, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
But 3-4 minutes went by, and he started thinking about, like, what is this thing? And he started connecting, and it's like, that's a scary thought. You know, he was putting 2 and 2 together.
By the way, he could kill
you. Know, of course. And that's the point I'm trying to make. You know, it would be his world if he got out of the cage. How do you prepare for all the hiking, all the hunting, all the?
So I got a crazy schedule this year. I started in Tennessee, went to Kentucky. Now I got PA.
Physically, what are you doing
Ohio.
to prepare?
Well, my big thing is obviously staying fresh. I mean, my big thing, grinding out, you know, hours on the lesson tee, in the tree. You got to make sure you're ready to go. So
you coach golf and then you go and hunt.
Yeah. I mean, it's like boom,
so you
boom,
don't
boom.
sleep.
Not much. And honestly, like a lot of, I mean, I'm fortunate enough that now that like literally like I have my schedule planned that like we're ready to go. Whenever I want, I go. So I've been obviously lifting heavy, got cardio going. My big thing is just staying present and like really kind of like staying within that wherever I'm gonna be.
Right, staying within the realm of being in shape and ready to hike at any time.
I mean like if I have to go like if I'm going to Ohio in a couple weeks, I got to take care of that. I'm gonna hike 4 or 5 miles in, set up a tree stand and go. I mean Arizona's gonna be brutal.
And how heavy are your backpacks with all that film equipment?
So I got a solo backpack hunt in Arizona. I was going to talk to you because literally I got 60 pounds, 70 pounds of stuff on my backpack, tent, food for 7 days. I mean, it's going to be a crazy backpack story.
Backpacking's difficult in the sense of like, especially like when you're hiking, first off, I think that a lot of people that are newer to hiking, or if you are someone who hikes a lot, you know how the scenarios work. There's intervals that are built in whether you like it or not. And then, from the standpoint of there could be a hill.
Dude, the freaking thing. I mean, this thing's going off.
There's hills, then there's downward slopes. The elements of whether there's weather change, and especially now if you add the element of wearing weight in your backpack essentially. So I think that one of the most important things you could do is pairing up leg exercises. So a lot of things that I'll do, especially like come April, May, June, when I really, really get into hiking, when the weather starts changing and it's not 100 degrees out yet, I'll do walking lunges. Right.
I love walking lunges.
Because lunging, what it does, and especially if you do it correctly, it develops leg stabilizers, so the outside portions of the hips, especially the high hamstring areas, and works on knee control and ankle control, which a lot of people don't, I think, put enough emphasis on, especially if you're going to be out there in nature, and especially with someone like you. Now you have a backpack, your left side starts getting tired, your right side will start compensating. So walking lunges, especially with weight, being on one side of your body versus the other. So holding a weight in your right hand and doing walking lunges, holding weight over your head and just kind of trying to manipulate your body in that sense. So again, an example circuit would be walking lunges with weight in certain positions of your body into squat jumps. So now you're getting, and I don't necessarily love using this term, but like leg burn, right to leg burn. And then also paying attention though to the posterior side of your body. So a lot of people, when have those backpacks on, what do we start doing? We sit most of the day as it is, and you sit in tree stands or you drive for 8-10 hours to these trips. So now the hips become dormant, the hamstrings become dormant, and for desk workers too. I mean, the same thing applies. Hamstrings, weak. Glutes, weak. Hip flexors, overworked. Front side of your core, overworked. So doing things like the third exercise, walking lunges, squats, and then like hip thrusters, where now you're driving your hips and really developing those glutes. And if you think about a hip flexor exercise, or a hip thruster exercise, which is where you would lay on your back and drive your hips up, where you would feel it in your glutes and your hamstrings, you're actually stretching out your hip flexors as well.
Dude,
so as much stretching as you can do to the front side of your body, and as much developing as you can do to the back side of your body.
I can't tell you how much. So many times, I drive, so my next trip, Jersey's not that big a deal, it's a few hours. But like Kentucky, 14 hours in a rut. And I am literally going from lesson T at 7 p.m., driving 14 hours and going hunting the next day. I mean, all day, no stop, no sleep, no stop, get it going for 4 days and then come back to teach it.
Do you have back pain or like hip pain?
Dude, I got every pain like you can't imagine. And I think that it's gotten so bad because I've been just pushing so hard. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. And I think people have that standpoint of like, oh man, it hurts, whatever. And, for me, I could care less. I literally, like, if someone breaks my arm, I'm gonna go still do it.
Well, I don't think your mindset is much different from someone who just goes to the gym, a weekend warrior. Yeah. And that's a huge problem. That mindset, it's looked at as like raw, push, and keep going. And in your case, like, you are trying to get something done at whatever expense. I mean, that's pretty obvious. But if you're looking to get results in the gym with that mindset, you will 100%, and I've noticed, you know, and I've had hundreds of clients who have done this, and in their experience, they've had setbacks. And all that does, that kind of rah-rah mentality when you have an aching pain or you have an injury. Because if you think about joint pain is your body's way of communicating with you to stop what you're doing, or especially like if you're getting sick, or if you're starting to sleep a lot, you know, or if you're always tired, or if you're moody, or if you're depressed, or if you're reactive.
Dude, how many people every day that are so depressed and moody and giving oh God, it's ridiculous.
But I think a lot of that is due to being overworked and trying to push through things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, they can't handle it though.
Right.
Right? I mean, like for me, I can't wait for you to see this episode because I am literally, I swear a lot in this episode because I'm mad. Because so I sat for 74 hours in 97 degrees, Tennessee, Kentucky. And then I killed that deer, but like I was mad.
Yeah.
I mean, like just think about sitting in that heat, and then all of a sudden you're like, all right, didn't see any deer, didn't see any deer, didn't see any deer. And then all of a sudden, boom, giant walks off, and you shoot the biggest deer of your life. I mean, literally, that adrenaline pump. On film, I said, if someone has that adrenaline, whatever you do, I don't care what you do, whether it's
keeps you alive.
If you freaking do pickup sticks, I could care less. If that adrenaline keeps you going, oh man, you gotta hold on to it, man, because it's crazy.
But I'm not saying not to find that something that drives you to that regard. But what I am saying is that's years of hard work on your part. That's years of preparation. That's you being in the right spot at the right time, not because you're lucky, but because preparation met the opportunity.
Dude, how many times people say lucky?
Right.
I call bullshit.
But most people will give working out 3 weeks or 3 months, right? And be, well, let's just use the person, you know, the most general fitness goal in the world, weight loss, fat loss. It took you a year, 2 years, 3 years to pack on that weight where you had limited to low to zero activity level, where you're just no regard, no care of what you're eating or what goes into your body or how it's damaging you. You know, there's no self-awareness at all.
Talk about diet for a second.
And then a month goes by and now you're frustrated that, you know, you don't see a huge change. You only see little changes. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. Like, and then too little for too long, and then too much way too soon. You know, so you can't go from one extreme to the other. You have to be willing to find what it is that drives you, and if you want to get to that goal, that's awesome. But you have to also, along with that, and what we're talking about with you, is the process, enjoying the journey, and being willing to, you know, capture all those great moments that comes along with it.
Dude, the journey, I'm telling you what,
it's better than the result.
I tell you what,
100%.
I mean, I've had some really killer footage.
Yeah.
And the journey of all the stuff from not making rent and not having money to pay for food to going out to Colorado to Africa.
You can't skip those things, because if you skip those things, it's not as sweet.
Oh, you just miss everything, man. I mean, and so many like older guys. I mean, I'm young, 31, but like they say, hey, enjoy the journey. And I enjoy the grind. I mean, I love the grind. You know, I mean, getting up every day and doing something, getting your teeth knocked in. I love it. And then all of a sudden you get that little like, oh man, I did something, you know? And then back to the grind. And then you keep going back and forth. And that's why I love, you know, that solo style. And that's why I created Stag Stalker. That stag means alone.
Yeah.
By yourself. Right? You don't need, I mean, you don't need like, hey, you know, can you help me out here?
Why do you like that? Like, how come you want to do the solo thing versus?
Man, I don't know, man. I think that people get the facet of, hey, I'm great, all this stuff. Well, there's someone behind that camera or that person that makes them great. And I feel like if I can do it myself, if I can do hunting, if I can do filming, if I can do production, if I can do my golf swings and I can get my players to play good, it's all on me.
Right.
And every day, oh man, it's a struggle.
Yeah.
But every day you do it. And then once you get it, and that Kentucky episode, dude, is unreal. Africa's going to drop probably next week. You know, I started a YouTube channel, going to get that going. You know, hopefully going to get ready for TV.
But regardless, I don't care. I don't care about TV. I don't care about all that
Right.
stuff. I just want to showcase that you can do it yourself.
Yeah.
You know, like you can get up every day and do it. If
Yeah.
you want to start a gym, start a gym.
Yeah.
If you want to get better at golf, get better at golf.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I don't care. But like for me, my thing is like film and production. Love it.
So you think anybody can do anything? Mm-hmm. And of course, you're gonna have a
Bro,
team.
what's my trademark? I can.
I will.
I will. I mean, like, I'll kill anything.
I mean, I am a killer, whether it's in business, whether it's an everyday thing. I can, I will. And if I can think it, I know I can do it.
Right.
And that's what I do.
That's a huge thing. Believe it in yourself.
Dude, self-belief, bro, is everything,
Yeah.
man. It's huge.
But also keeping yourself grounded in the sense of like if you're thinking about what we're talking about, you know, a lot of people, of course, get stuck in money or fame or something along those lines.
Instagram.
or in the
oh,
world of
God.
like being cool on Instagram or
Yeah.
something like that. But you know, when you figure out what is important to you and then you enjoy it, like we talked about, like just go into the woods.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Going into the woods is an
You
incredible
know
thing
you
because-
love doing that, dude,
right?
by the way.
And it's one of my I think that it's one of the most important things that a human being can do, actually, because the only thing that matters in the woods when you're hiking is being out there in that environment, right? Like, because you're probably not going to have cell phone service. And then you're probably going to have to start thinking about your problems and what you can do better and what is truly important to you. And also, if you're with someone during that time, you are now going to create a friend relationship, unlike from any other relationship that you can create anywhere else in the world.
Not in a bar.
Not in a bar, not in a movie. You know, and I'm not saying any of those things are bad. What I'm saying is out there, you start to kind of get this physical kind of emotion, you know, that you don't get anywhere else either. Like, okay, my feet hurt, and how much more can I push? And my legs hurt, you know, without needing to do anything too extreme, like a Spartan race, like a marathon. And so you're with, you know, people that you're sharing this experience with, you're learning about your body, and then if you're by yourself, which is, you know, one of my favorite things to do, go out into the woods. But if you do go on a hike by yourself, you have to let people know where you're going to be. And me and my buddy Carl joke all the time. I go with my buddy Carl. He's 6'5", 265. You know, if you're going out into hiking, I brought my bag.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, just some snacks.
By the way, that's big time right there.
You know what I mean? Just some snacks, but it's a little heavy, which again makes the hike a little bit harder. But have good footwear, you know, have some sound shoes that lock into the ground, and some water and stuff, because you don't know, you know, you can't go out. And we went into where was vacation?
We went to the Poconos.
We went into the Poconos where there was waterfalls.
You gotta remember vacation,
everywhere.
bro. Vacation.
Waterfalls though everywhere, and you know, people with just sandals on. You know, so that easily, I mean, there's just certain hikes that you can go on where the elements can change and it can become dangerous. But if you truly want to learn about yourself as a person, if you truly want to develop as a person, you know what I mean, and you truly want to figure out who the hell you are, you know what I mean, and what you're about and why. I don't think that you can do it anywhere else in the world to the degree that you can do it when there's trees around, when there's birds chirping, when there's fresh air.
Go out
and it's
west.
you and only
Go out
you.
west. Good luck.
Yeah.
Because it's
How different is it out west?
It's different.
Where you can literally go, yo, and not hear anything. It's crazy.
What are you,
man.
like 15,000?
Yeah, no, it's like 10,
Yeah.
like probably 13. But like, you know, you get like, you know, like all of a sudden you go, oh man, I'd rather like my gym, like just chill.
Right.
But like it's fun, man. Honestly, like we got that Arizona. I mean, I got that Arizona hunt at the end of the year, and we went to Colorado last year. And I'm going to Alaska the following year after that for moose. We're going to drop in. Guys going to drop us off and go, hey, see you in 10 days. What are you going to do? I mean,
Right.
you're going to drop off and set up camp and do it. And when people can do that and get away from your like pretty cell phones and pretty Lexuses and whatever,
Your life is easier.
Your life is
Right.
way easier.
Absolutely.
I hate this stupid phone. I threw this phone. You know what I mean? Like, probably.
And that just cracked.
Not a big deal. But like, I don't want that phone. Like, dude, if I don't use that phone, I have a great day.
So golfing, with how intense you are with hiking, like why do you like golfing?
Well, you know, golf.
Golf is the slowest and boring sport out there. But like, I love golf because it can get anyone from young to old involved, right? So
Right.
like we have crazy successful people use it from young to old, and I love that. I mean, I love the aspect of like you can get someone that like is really successful forever. I mean, you can play it until you're 80, 90 years old, and I love that part of that. And I'm fortunate enough to have a great place at Commonwealth to see all facets of life, and I use outdoors to get away from teaching and all that stuff in golf. They use that to get away from their life, right? I mean, like they're crazy busy at they're accountant, doctors, all that stuff. They get away from that in a beautiful outdoors in the golf course. It's great, man. It's really nice.
How do you get good at golf?
You got to practice, dude.
What is like the most important things to practice?
I mean, you got to. So we have a couple things. You have to hit the ball first, then the ground. I mean, that's number one thing. I mean, we call it control low point.
A lot of people hit the ground first. And
then the ball goes nowhere. So you have to hit the ball first. That's the thing. And then you got to hit the ball far enough to actually play golf, right? So like guys or women that hit it 150 yards. I mean, it's tough to play golf hitting it that short. So we get them to go, hit it farther, hit it more like successful. Like a practice kind of thing is like, okay, Derek, here's your target. If I go, like perfect example. Hey, can you show that? Can you show that broadhead today? Show that.
We had a mulligan.
Yeah, show that field point. Show that field point. Here.
We're shooting.
Hey, check this out. We were shooting field points. Here, there's my field point. And this is Derek's field point, chilling in the cement. I mean, that ain't going anywhere. So we had some fun there.
It was a win factor.
We'll just say it was a win factor. But anyways. So,
how do you hit the ball further?
Yeah,
What are some of the keys to hitting the ball further?
I mean, like, obviously, hitting the ball further, using the ground. We use it every day, lifting weights, cleans, jerks, anything. I mean, really using the ground to push off and to hit the ground, hit the ball farther. But, my big thing is with a golf club is people lose fact of, like, awareness. Like, the golf club is somewhere over here, and I show them a video, and I go, hey, this is what you look like. And they're like,
You use a lot of video footage?
yeah, a lot of
showing?
video, a lot of numbers. Like big thing is video. Hey, the golf club is like somewhere over here. We got to get it back there.
Right.
Right. Like it's like if I squat and I go, hey, I'm pretty far, and you show me a video that I'm not.
Right.
That's a problem. Right. So
Gotcha.
like people's awareness is huge with golf.
Repetition.
Yeah, repetition and being like, hey, that's right. Keep doing it. Awesome.
With a game like that, where like, I just feel like
It's
there'd be
so hard,
much
man. It's
mental
so
fortitude with that.
I mean, like,
how-
listen,
and
it's
failure.
like having a great day and then having a car
Yeah.
crash and like getting up with that and then going to do it again.
And I just hear because I train so many golfers, like they'll come in on Wednesday and like gung ho, they just golf the natural
grade
like
18,
grade
yeah.
18, and then they'll come Friday and they'll be so down. Like, how do you get people to go from those lows to highs?
Well, yeah, it's just like life, dude. I mean, it's like, hey, dude, relax. If you had a bad day, are you gonna have it again? No, just relax.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's gonna be a new day. I mean, the difference between golf and life is like golf is like people's lives, right? That's all they care about. And if we can kind of control their expectations and go, hey, all we need to do is this.
Because they watch a lot of
Yeah.
people on the TV. Tiger Woods.
The TV is killer.
Yeah.
Because they see like us guys hit it 300 yards or whatever, hit it far, and they go, hey, we got to do that. No, you don't. Just relax. Just get it in play and do that. And golf is a thing like anything. It changes every hole.
Yeah.
One turns left, one turns right. One's downhill, one's uphill. So if people can understand kind of how that works, it makes it a lot easier. My job from a teaching standpoint is to make their expectations like to be successful.
Yeah, and realistic.
Right?
And
Like if I come to you and go, hey, all you gotta do is lift 100 pounds a day. That's a good day. And I do it and I go, man, it's a good day.
Right.
And that's how that builds, right? So like 100 pounds is today, 115 next day, 135 the next day. So it's just progression.
Yeah.
So I've dealt with clients for 5-6 years where, hey, we started at one point, okay, so we didn't jump 200%, but we changed 20%, 20%, 20%.
Most people don't want to go down that
No,
journey,
they don't. Dude, if you're 35, 40 years old, you
Yeah.
got a lot of life left.
Right.
Like, relax.
Yeah.
Just
And
chill out.
enjoy it.
Enjoy it, man.
Honestly, I don't think anything other than, like we've talked about, being able to put yourself into the mindset of going down the road of okay, I see it all the time actually with like 5Ks and even like in here, you know, you have to be okay with like, who cares about your time in the beginning? And then, you know, trying, of course, to get better. Don't be okay with having the same time for 3 months, or don't be okay with lifting the same weight for 3 months, you know, or not being able to do an exercise for a year. Like, want to go down those realms of proper progression and enjoying the process. But, you know, to put pressures on yourself, I mean, look, always try to challenge yourself, always try to do better, but to put pressures on yourself, like, you know, you're an Olympic athlete, it's almost naive in the sense of like, and what you're talking about with the golfing, it's like, we don't have professional cooks, and we have jobs, and we have kids, and we have outside stressors, and you know what I mean, like, we can't sleep for 10 hours and recover and redo it. So, you know, understanding that is important. So actually, when goal setting up situations where you do not run yourself into the ground mentally to where you're not having fun anymore, and then you're putting up a wall block where you're never going to be able to get by.
No, and I think that mindset challenges people to all of a sudden go, oh shoot, I'm gonna fail right here.
Right.
And then that's where the process got to keep going. I mean, like, dude, I got so much life ready to go. Like, if I fail today, I don't care. I'm gonna do it better the next day.
Right.
Better the next day. And that was the whole thing. I will. I mean, like, if I can think it, I'm going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to work my butt off to be able to do it. And whether it's food, whether it's nutrition, hiking, hunting, filming, golfing, I can do it.
Yeah.
And if I can instill that in my players and my students, that like, hey, if you want to do it, we can do it.
Because the first person to stop you is going to be you.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you truly believe it,
that
then
positive attitude is so huge, dude. It's so
contagious and important and very, very, very difficult to stop, man. I mean, you think about, like, you know, the way I started this business, I look back and it's comical. I mean, I was a naive 19-year-old kid whose parents went broke,
dude, this
lost
place looks
their house,
badass.
and I was about to go to college and go down that whole realm, and I had the only thing that I could do is go to this personal training school where it was like Disney World that I went to, and, you know, which fed me to doing what I love to do every single day. And then, you know, going broke a couple times because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. 21 years old, opening up this place, no idea how to manage money or, you know, what's gross, what's net. I didn't know any of that shit. You know what I mean? So that whole process is like, if you don't love it and you're not willing to, and so I could have been like, well, you know, I want to be the best trainer in the world, and of course I do. But if you put those types of pressures on yourself and you don't have fun every day and you don't realize that, like, okay, I want to lose some weight, but I got to eat better, or if I want to be a better trainer, or if I want to be a better business owner in that case, then I need to understand money a little bit better.
Just have fun.
You know?
I mean, people lose the fact of having fun.
Right.
Like, have fun, laugh.
Yeah.
Like, people like get so stressed out and all that stuff. Have fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to be around people that have fun.
Yeah.
If you're not fun, dude,
Nah.
see ya.
And get more experience, you know, get new experiences, whatever it is that, you know, you want to experience or do, you know. So maybe it's, you know, not going out in the woods, but like with you, like, if you've never done that, then maybe try it.
Well, why
know?
not? Try anything and everything. I don't
Going
care.
back to golf, I just want to give a couple maybe exercises that could help people to get stronger, or what I do a lot with my golfers. Thoracic spine mobility, so the mid-back range of motion, you know, especially for the backswing. If you think about texting, driving, eating, you know, we're hunched over most of the day, which limits our ability to rotate at our shoulder and at our rib cage. So doing a bunch of like thoracic spine drills, whether it's putting your hand out,
Dude,
touching your
how
elbow.
bad people's posture?
Yeah, well, it's
the
hard. I
beginning,
mean,
it's awful.
when we're doing the things that I just mentioned, you know, of the texting and eating and sitting. And then a lot of golfers have low back pain, and low back pain is the same as what, you know, why most desk workers have back pain. Again, it's from, just to reiterate, I know I already mentioned it, but your hamstrings being tight, your glutes being tight, right, or weak, and you have to strengthen that stuff. So one of the things that you mentioned was doing deadlifts, and primarily I really like trap bar deadlifts. So if you don't know what that is, it's a hexagon looking thing with handles on the sides. And the reason that that's beneficial is because for someone that does have a rounded back, it now makes it a much safer style of deadlifts. And golf is looked at a sport, and I often hear it like, well, it's a finesse sport, so like don't be lifting heavy weights or don't do any resistance training. But the best way to improve, and all my golfers tell me, you know, opening up the shoulder area and the rib cage area, and then getting the legs stronger via deadlifts and stuff, increases their backswing and their ability to drive the ball and hit it more powerfully, because power comes from your ability to get stronger in your lower extremities to your upper extremities. And then also, I think another reason most golfers or just desk workers or of any sort have back pain is because they can't coordinate core control with hip control. So that's why like an overworked exercise like a plank is so important, because a plank done correctly, especially using that old school $5 ab wheel, coordinates core control.
It's hard.
It's hard, and it needs to be done as a progression, because if you do the ab wheel before you've mastered the plank, you can get into a bad situation in your core, and pull a muscle or anything along those lines. But teaching the core to stabilize as your hips move, right? I think most people don't have the core control. Now they try to rotate on a fixed spine, and their hips and their core don't work together, or they don't stabilize together primarily, and now you get all sorts of back pain, So planks or band holds and anti-rotation.
Any stability is great for the golf.
But bottom line is the core is very important, and getting your legs strong, very important for golf. And like you said, lots of mobility, especially like hip mobility. Those hips need to be able to move, Let's wrap it up with, what do you have coming up?
So I have Kentucky. So I got a show in Kentucky starting up. I got Ohio. I got Jersey bear hunt. That's going to be sick. I'm going to chase 300-400 pound bears on the ground, 15-20 yards. That's going to be sick on film. Then I got Ohio. Arizona's going to be sick with hiking. It's a solo backpack hunt. It's going to be tent, food, 7 days.
You're by yourself.
Try to survive.
What are you doing to survive? Like,
So,
you know what I'm saying?
I honestly, I'm given a map and go, hey, you start here and try to get there and then come back.
Yeah.
And just make sure you find, hopefully find deer, or you just survive and do stuff it's tent work, it's hiking, all that stuff. So that's gonna be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to it in December. Then I got Iowa, really cold. Bad weather there, negative degrees, whatever.
What are you doing in negative degrees to stay warm?
Hopefully wear a lot of warm
You wear
clothes.
like wool? And
Yeah. Warm. And hopefully only stay out there 4 or 5 hours.
What do you think the most important thing if you get into some trouble, right?
Stay calm.
If you're out there though, and
a lot of people
shit hits the fan.
Like I went scuba diving, years ago, where I got my regulator knocked out of my mouth, and the big thing is to stay calm. You stay calm in anything, you'll be okay. People go crazy, like nuts. Like it's like, relax, it's fine. Okay, you're not going to hopefully die. You know. So, my big hunt's going to be next year in moose territory. We got grizzly after that. And
are you going back to Africa?
Yeah, I'll be going back to Africa. I love that place. It's so much fun. I mean, from the elephants to lions, people can go there, whether you're a hunter or not a hunter. I mean, I went with Red Sand Safari that we could elephants and lions and photograph, and you can hunt. It's fun.
Awesome.
And I might do a little Cape Town great white shark diving.
How much longer do you think you're going to keep this up? Like, what's the ultimate?
Man, I want to do it as long as I can.
Yeah.
I want to do. I'm picking up some sponsors and do that route, and probably hopefully get a network and keep rolling. So
it's cool,
it's
man.
It's gonna be fun, man.
I really appreciate you doing this, brother.
Dude, I love it, dude.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thanks for listening, guys.
Keep killing it and finish the fitness line.
Appreciate it, brother.
All right, bro.
You as well.
Good stuff, man.